City of Stevens Point Special Personnel Committee meeting, recorded July 20th, 2020.
However, I do not see everyone who I expect in attendance. But Chairman Shore, you are certainly okay to call the meeting to order and do a roll.
Well, who would we be waiting for?
Well, I don't see the attorney or the employee and union rep.
Well, I definitely want to wait for the city attorney.
But you again, you can call the meeting to order.
Oh,
now, since we are live streaming right
okay.
now. I'm letting people in as they come.
It is 6:15, and the special personnel committee meeting is called to order. Who would do a roll call?
I think HR manager Yakush could do that.
Yes. Shore.
Here.
Leek.
Here.
Zarazua.
Here.
Nabel.
Here.
Dalton. Dalton.
Here.
Excellent.
Here.
Yes, we got that. Please go mute, mute yourself again. Thank you very much. As mentioned a moment ago, because of some of the procedural issues here, we think it's a good idea to give a minute for the city attorney.
And the city attorney just messaged me. He's connecting solely by phone. He just had a technical difficulty. He should be in shortly, so it's completely okay to just stand by and wait, Alder, until the city attorney jumps in.
Okay.
Give him just a minute.
I'm just checking. Can anyone hear me speak? This is Tom Carroll.
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
So for those of you who haven't been on a meeting before, if you're not speaking, please mute yourself. And that way we prevent a lot of the feedback and echoey things. So I appreciate it if you could do that. Just mute yourself when you're not speaking. Waiting on Logan here. It doesn't work. Oh boy, what is he doing here? 817-791-7.
So I believe I can at least describe the idea, which is that a member of the committee, it could be of another body, but felt that the had second thoughts about the action taken and felt there was grounds for revisiting the decision. That is what a motion of reconsideration is. And
yes, and there's
that's what it is, and the city attorney is going to explain how to do it.
Okay, he is connecting now, so as soon as he connects through audio.
Okay, just to be clear, the public's able to access the beginning of this meeting, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's recorded. We've been recording since 6:15.
No, I mean, like, for the motion on the reconsideration itself,
Yes.
and a motion to go into closed session, because I wasn't able to get in until you sent me a password.
No motion's been made. We waited for you to
No, I'm just saying, like, if members of the public wanted to tune into this meeting right
Yes.
now.
Yes, Logan, if they connect through the link that was on the agenda, you are able to get in. If you are entering only through phone, apparently you still need the password.
Okay, I tried to connect via, first of all, I clicked the link in the agenda and nothing happens.
How did everybody else
And
get
the
in?
agenda doesn't list the password. The password doesn't appear on the agenda.
I came through the email invitation.
Hang on,
Truth be told. Right.
Let's just see if I can. Um,
I use the email invitation too.
Yeah.
This is Keely Fishler. I used the email invitation and I did not have the password requested.
No, we're looking, thank you, Keely. We're looking for someone who came in through the
right,
agenda.
and I don't see any way
I did
to
that.
turn off the password at this point. So, hang on. Let me just check some things here. So Logan, you clicked on the link and it didn't do anything?
Yeah, I'm viewing it in preview.
Oh, no, wait, this is pertinent. Tom came in through the agenda, not the invitation. That's,
Yeah, I'm gonna test the link in the agenda right now because it should work. Oh wait, I can't do it because I'm already in a meeting. I guess I'm gonna have to take Alderperson Leak's word for it. I don't see.
Mayor,
Yes.
I just got an email too. I was checking that. Mark Delorme is also needing the password as well.
Okay, well it's 014053. But I'm
014053.
yes,
Okay.
but I don't see anywhere where it's even showing active.
So just to be clear, in the agenda, as I'm viewing it, which I'm using preview, which is just the built-in Mac PDF viewer, where it says Zoom meeting, the sort of link, it's blue, it's underlined, it appears like a hypertext link, but when you click it, nothing happens.
I wonder if it's because you're in the preview and not the actual document.
No, I don't mean like it is a preview. The software is called preview. It's the native iOS, or excuse me, the native Mac OS PDF viewing software.
Huh. Are you
Steve
able
Jobs.
to, Logan, when you float over the Zoom meeting blue link,
Right.
are you able to like right click on it and see the link address or anything?
I can, if I copy the link, well, actually that doesn't appear to do anything.
I came in like Alder Leak did. I clicked on the agenda that came in through the civic clerk. And
So I'm not sure what's going on, Logan, but we had several people that got in through the link fine. We had people that called in through phone that needed the password.
if Alders Leak and Ebon are saying that they
Yeah.
succeeded without.
And Lisa, you gave that to the attorney, the information?
I did, and I also just emailed to ask if he was able to get in.
I'm not seeing anyone in waiting, but I've disabled the waiting room just temporarily. Just so it's kind of like wide open for anybody at this point. I will have to re-enable the waiting room if we choose to go into closed session.
There's a 920 number on there now.
920-629-9720 would be him. Yes, he's in.
Okay.
Well, I was thinking 45 minutes might have been a little bit more time than we needed for this, but apparently it wasn't such a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the technical difficulty is here, but it looks like it's at least working for some. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's exclusive to Mac. Logan, can you bring your Mac in tomorrow and we can take a look at it?
Well, I think I can probably just try to view it in a different piece of software and see if I get the same issue.
Okay, who is joining us representing the employee? 920.
This is Mark Delorme.
Oh,
Mark Delorme from Council 32.
Gotcha. Thank you, Mark.
So are we ready to hear from the city attorney?
Chair, I believe you're good to go.
So City Attorney, please tell us how this works.
Okay, so we had a request for this to be reconsidered. That request came from Alder Zarazua, who had voted in the majority when this was acted on previously. In our ordinances, we have a provision for reconsideration. I believe it's 2.23 in our ordinances. Let me pull that up just to make sure I'm accurate. So
the decision that we're making
okay,
is whether to revisit the decision that was made last Monday. That is the first.
That's correct.
Okay.
So it's 2.21 in our ordinances, and that ordinance pertains to procedures of the city council. But I think even though it doesn't explicitly say this, I think the reasonable conclusion is that those procedures also apply to our committees, especially when there is the unique scenario of a committee being the final action on something. There's only a small handful of those types of scenarios. But it does identify reconsideration, that the act of choosing to reconsider something, as being something that would be done by motion. So essentially there is a motion to reconsider, there would have to be a second for that, and then a vote on whether to reconsider. And if that carries, then the item may be reconsidered, i.e. heard for discussion and action again.
Thank you. So I voted in the minority. I was the minority of one. So I don't know whether I'm eligible to second the motion or whether that would need to come from someone else who voted in the majority.
The ordinance does not specify as to a second. It just says the person making the motion to reconsider must be somebody who voted in the majority. So I think you would be eligible to second that.
Well, since seconding is simply a matter of letting something be on the table, I will second.
Do we have a motion?
Your request constituted a motion, is what
It would be
I
helpful to
understood from
restate
City
that,
Attorney.
Alder Zarazua, if you'd like, just for the record.
Okay. So I will make a motion to reconsider the action by the Personnel Committee in the July 13th meeting regarding the employee grievance.
Thank you. So in order to reconsider the substance of the matter, because of the nature of the matter, we will have to go into closed session.
You'll call the vote for reconsideration in open session.
Right.
If that reconsideration vote is successful, you will then need a motion to go into closed session.
Right.
You will have to have a second and a roll call vote on that motion, and then you need to give me some time to make sure that we are in closed session, and then I'll let you know when you're okay to proceed. Then you may come out of open session and take action on that.
That's all correct.
Before I turn to the Human Resources Manager to call the roll, I will ask whether any committee members have questions.
So the motion is on the table. It's been seconded. It's open to discussion now.
Right. Only for the reconsideration.
Right.
Not about the actual substance.
Right.
There was some new evidence that was apparently not available last Monday. And based on that, the reconsideration request came through. So only the reconsideration. Please do not talk about anything relating to the content of that closed session.
Right, but that new evidence, the nature of that evidence and the availability of that would be open to discussion right now.
Yes.
The question being.
Well, okay, so
Yeah, the question being whether committee members feel that that information warrants revisiting the decision.
Okay. So I got this email with a link to this Dropbox link.
Yes.
Is that the video that was originally discussed but not displayed last meeting? That's okay. It's not new. It's not new video.
Correct.
Well, it's
Not
new in the sense that we can discuss in closed session.
Okay. That's my question. Yeah.
Right. If hearing no others, going once, twice from
I would
committee
like to-
members, or who's that?
Alder Nabel.
Please.
Alternate,
Nabel,
I'd like
thank you.
to, still concerned about the fact that this information should have been given to us at the time that we were had this commission for personnel commission. If it would have been there, we would have been able to not be going through this now. And I think that's not fair to bring something, if you were in a court of law and everybody voted in the court, and then to find something after the decision is made, is not, I don't think that's fair to that individual. Even if they're wrong, then the due diligence was not done prior to this, so that we could have made a correct decision.
So that sounds like a view of the situation we're in and whether to reconsider. And thank you for that. Anyone else?
This is the union rep. Can I make a comment?
I'd love to hear from you.
Sure.
It goes to the motion. It does not go to the substance.
Okay.
The grievance procedure does not contemplate the personnel committee having multiple kicks at the can. Last week, there was a decision made. There was a vote. The vote was 4-1. I don't know what was discussed by the committee, but my guess is you weren't required to make a decision at that time. You could have demanded to see the video, but before a decision was made, yet in your judgment, or you decided that you should grant the grievance. Just for the analogy to a court of law, this isn't new information. This isn't something that was discovered this week. Generally in a court of law, this wouldn't be reconsidered because it should have been presented originally. Right. Just because the department does a poor job in presenting their case should not be an excuse for multiple grievance meetings until the department gets it right.
Right. So this is a different, a related but different point to Alder Nabel, which is whether on any matter of this type, this body should be able to reconsider at all. To which, if I am understanding everything correctly, my observations would be, number one, this is not a judicial proceeding, so the analogies are not quite apt. But more to the point, our city attorney has said that it does stand to reason that the analogy between this body and the council for which the provision for reconsideration was made, that it is legitimate for this body to consider, to be able to reconsider. Now, Alder Nabel made an argument why we shouldn't, but I understand you to be arguing why we shouldn't even be able.
Well, I'm speaking in terms of the grievance procedure in the contract, which constrains the personnel committee beyond what the ordinance would. This says that there's a personnel committee meeting and a meeting with the grievance. Doesn't contemplate multiple meetings or multiple
so now,
decisions.
Thank you for that. I will now turn to the city attorney for his view of whether the ordinance, as he had cited, or the contract is controlling.
So just jumping back to the analogy to a circuit court or a court of law, there is such thing as a motion to reconsider in civil procedure. You can literally receive a decision from a judge or a final disposition of the case and then move a court to reconsider its decision. That is a move you can make in a court of law. But speaking more to the specifics here, the grievance procedure doesn't say that the personnel committee can reconsider it, but it also doesn't prohibit the personnel committee from reconsidering. an action. What it does is says that the Personnel Committee has to make or issue a written decision within 10 days. So I think certainly it beyond the 10 days, that it's clear as day that the Personnel Committee will have had to have relied on whatever decision was made initially. But there's silence in the contract as to reconsideration of any of those actions. And I think that in keeping with the way that we interpret personnel policies or contracts in general, if they're silent as to any type of issue, then you can look to the ordinances, you can look to other principles or rules we have in place that guide the city government. You know, for instance, if we're just looking at administrative aspects of a collective bargaining agreement, if the CBA is silent as to an issue, we look to the general city administrative policies to fill in the gaps. And I think here you've got one of those cases where it doesn't strictly prohibit reconsideration, it doesn't strictly allow reconsideration. And I think in the absence of any language there, you'd look to the general rules for the city council, which we have already looked at tonight.
Thank you. And I see Alder League has a question.
Yeah, am I understanding correctly then that 10 days, it has not been 10 days, we're supposed to give a written decision? What constitutes a written decision? Do our minutes constitute a written decision?
I discussed that with Lisa, and our conclusion, which I think makes a lot of sense, would be that rather than just the minutes, sort of a short, 1 or 2 sentence explanation of what action was taken, and then that would bear the signature of the committee chair, and then that's what could be provided to the relevant parties.
So if I could sort of restate that slightly, another way would be to say that Alder Zarazua's request was in a timely enough fashion to precede that.
Yes, and I think certainly, with regards to Mr. DeLorme's comments, if there were a decision by this committee that was adverse to a member of the union, I think this same procedure could be available there as well. And I certainly don't think that he'd be arguing for the finality of it under that type of circumstance. But
could I reply to that? I think it's important to point out that neither the department nor the union requested this reconsideration. I think if the union requested it or the city, that might be something different. But this is on the personnel committee's own decision.
Which is how the reconsideration provision works, which is that a member of the body who had supported the decision can request reconsideration. So the fact that it came from within the committee is in line with statute.
Right, I understand that, but it wasn't at the request of the department or the union, the two parties that were bringing the grievance to you.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
So it's a question of whether we should reconsider, and yeah.
Right.
And that's
whether we right. So the attorney is telling us we can.
Yeah, should we?
Alder Nabel made a case.
Right. Okay. So yeah.
And the question is where you started, which is whether the information of which you are aware, at least generally, is grounds to reconsider.
I guess
Alder Zarazua had her hand up.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Alder Zarazua.
So I just want to say, in wanting to review this, I mean, as a member of this committee, I do have an obligation to make sure I've done a good job. And so I guess in feeling that we didn't really have all the evidence at that meeting, and we still are completing this in a timely fashion. So it's not like 3 months from now, we're going to come back to it and say, oh, wait, I think we know we're in the time frame of, it's timely, and in possibly reconsidering this.
and the decision, right? We're deciding whether the decision could still come out the same way. We're saying nothing about the decision on the substance at this point. And I think I am going to ask the Human Resources Manager to please call the roll. The motion is whether the Personnel Committee should now reconsider the grievance that was discussed last week.
Shore,
Aye.
Leek,
Aye.
Zarazua,
Aye.
Nabel,
Alder Nabel,
I'm up for cutting in and out on this. Hear what Alder Shore said.
the motion is to reconsider. If you want to reconsider, you will vote yes. If you do not want to reconsider, you will vote no.
Okay, no.
Thank you. And
Dalton.
Aye.
Dalton is aye.
Yes, so the vote
Thank
is
you.
4-1.
Thank you, everyone. Now we need a motion to go into closed session to discuss a personnel matter.
I move to go into closed session.
Thank you, Alder Nabel. Do we have a second?
Second that.
Thank you, Alder Leek, for the second. Would you again please call the roll on the motion to go into closed session?
Shore,
Aye.
Leek,
Aye.
Zarazua,
Aye.
Nabel,
I believe that was an affirmative.
Dalton.
Alder Nabel, could you nod your head?
I said aye.
Okay, so we now have the aye. And Alder Dalton?
Aye.
Okay. And now that's to the mayor to actually put us in closed session. Thank you.
And just for the record, we've got 4 minutes before we have to start.
That's why I.
Let's do it.
Hang on, we have to, yep, we're recording. You are good to go, Mr. Chairman. You're in open session.
We are in open session, and the decision that we were revisiting is pertains to a grievance. The previous decision was to affirm the grievance. So we need a motion to either deny or affirm the grievance now, having decided to reconsider. Now we are making our decision on the reconsideration. A motion?
Alder Dalton, I would make a motion to reverse the Personnel Committee's previous decision and deny the grievance.
Thank you. A second?
A second.
Thank you. A second from Alder Zarazua. And please call the roll one last time.
Shore,
Aye.
Leek,
Aye.
Zarazua,
Aye.
Nabel,
Aye.
Dalton.
Aye.
5.
Thank you, everyone, for all of that. And on a very quick personal note, because we're going to be calling the roll in a couple of minutes, but my daughter, meanwhile,
so people need time to connect.
Right. Can we stay here?
No.
Oh, we got to go. Okay.
It's a new meeting. You have to connect to a different link.
Bye.
You
But
are
also, still, I need to say hi to my daughter who just drove here. I haven't seen her since Christmas, just to let you know.
All right. So you are adjourned then, Mr. Chairman. Is that correct? I will take that as a yes.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.